going on, guys? ChaseWins.com, Venture Sports Consulting. Happy Saturday, August the 1st, start of a new month, and we've got a recap to do for Friday. We'll get you on a free premium play for Saturday, and we'll get started on a big weekend. We kicked off a bit, what is going to be a big weekend. Today, it's still Friday night here, and we plan on keeping it going on Saturday. So, had two plays released on Friday in the MLB, and that's what we will go over here. We're going to have at least two plays in the MLB, at least. One of them I'm going to give you now. Another one that I'm looking at that I'm just waiting on one bit of information to come through. I think I already know the answer to it. I just want some solidified confirmation on it, and it is involving a bullpen. Once I have that, I'll be able to finish up a write-up and post a second play. There is the potential for a third play in a much later game on Saturday night, but it will probably be in the afternoon hours of Saturday before all the information that I look at is out, confirmed and everything, as to whether or not I see value in that play. So, as far as what we've got going on for the weekend, pretty standard weekend. Obviously, the NBA kicked back off, so hopefully everybody enjoyed watching that. I know there were some good games on Friday. I think it's going to be a great weekend of matchups. Like I said, I'm following the NBA very close. Every matchup, every team, every player, seeing what's going on, and I can assure you, the second that I see value within the NBA after its return, we will be back on the NBA. Same goes for the NHL that is ramping back up on Saturday. So just be patient with me. I'm not forcing anything. The second that I see value, we will be back to playing those sports. Until then, I will not be releasing anything. And I know one thing that I wanted to clarify was that my assistant had sent out an email on Friday about having horse racing on Friday night. It was just a misunderstanding, miscommunication, because the horse racing meeting that I was in with my consultant was for this weekend, but it was not for Friday. It was for mainly Saturday. We were already looking into something for Sunday as well, but obviously there's, that won't be released until Sunday. But there is such a big racing day going on Saturday. We were already kind of ahead of schedule in making sure that we were going over absolutely everything as needed so that we can release anything that we may have in a timely manner. So let's do a recap real quick. We are still doing the 1 month free giveaway. Like I said, I'm going to be giving away 4 1-month passes, and the only thing you have to do is follow this YouTube channel. So if you're already following, that's great. If you are not, click the subscribe button. Then look in the description of the video. There's my Twitter page. Make sure you follow that. And then my foundation, the We Are Sports Youth Foundation, the Instagram and Twitter page for that foundation. Make sure you go follow both of those. I'm going to be picking a winner from each one of the platforms, YouTube included, to win a free month pass. I'm going to be doing that late Sunday night, and on Monday I will be reaching out to each one of the winners. So make sure, and even if you're already on a subscription with me, you still have the ability to win. It's going to be at random draw. So, if I draw a name and you're already on a pass, you can still get it. You can choose to get it or give it away. I don't care. But if you choose to claim it, it'll just start when the current subscription that you are on ends. So just remember that. So look in the description below. Click those. Give them all a follow, subscribe, everything. And we would really appreciate it. So free play, which was a premium play for Friday, was the Chicago White Sox on the money line. That one was a nice winner. The Chicago White Sox started out slow out of the gate, as well as the Royals did. They took a 3-1 lead, ended up winning the game 3-2. If you want my reasonings for that game, you can go back and watch yesterday's video. The second game that I released for the day was my Cubs on the run line, and trust me, I know that the haters were going to come going, yo, you're just playing them because you're a fan. Well, if that were the case, then I'd play them a lot more often, and this is the first time that I've played a game involving them at all this season. But we had them on the run line at even money, so no juice whatsoever, and they took care of business pretty handily with Darvish picking up a win, so congrats to him. And another 2-0 day, another sweep of the board, puts us at 17-3 on the year for MLB, and starting to feel like Groundhog Day a little bit. Just sweep day after sweep day after sweep day. Man, oh man. All right, let's get on a free play. let's look at the line here. Okay, so 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday evening, we've got the Cincinnati Reds going up against the Detroit Tigers at Comerica Park. Starting pitchers are going to be Trevor Bauer and Michael Fulmer. Now, I want to touch on this starting pitching matchup. Now, right now, this is a line that I think is going to kind of jump all over the place, as did the White Sox. The White Sox was at 155 yesterday when I bet it. It immediately went down to 150 after I had done the video. I saw it get as high as 175, and it ended up closing at William Hill at 145. So, should have very easily been able to play the money line. I mean, there was probably only about a 4-hour stretch of the day on Friday where you would have had to lay over what my video said. So yeah, as far as most of my clients I know got to bet it at 150 or less. So you may, if you have a local book or you bet online or anything, right now William Hill's got it at the Cincinnati Reds minus 150. Bovada's got it at 155. Let's see, Caesars is at 155. Five Dimes is at 150. So, I mean, it's kind of all over the place, but, between 150 and 155. William Hill, like I said, has got it at 150. That's what I'm going to be betting. I am going to mark the starting pitchers as Trevor Bauer and Michael Fulmer. Trevor Bauer being the main one here. But this is what I like about it. Trevor Bauer, as everybody knows, I am a fan of him. Now, here's what's funny about Trevor is that most people watch him pitch and they assume the opposite of him. They see, he can go long, fairly deep into games when he's pitching well. And so, and I hear a lot of talk about, his stamina's up there. He can go deep into games because his pitch count, because he can throw so many pitches. Actually, to the contrary, he cannot, not successfully. But Trevor is one of those guys that goes out there and has a chip on his shoulder every game. And he's been like that since his college days. I don't want to say this because I really like Trevor, but it's almost like a bout of little man syndrome where he goes out there like the whole world's against him. And there are some games where that can really hurt him because it's almost like he gets into his own head. But other days, you don't want to be the one staring, down the mound when he's just mowing you down with 92-mile-an-hour fastballs. The thing about Trevor is he's a ground ball machine, which allows it allows batters to make a lot of contact with Trevor, but they don't generate a lot of hits. Innings are fast, pitch count stays low. Trevor ends up being in there in the 6th or 7th inning, which is good because the Reds don't have the most thrilling of bullpens. It's gotten worlds better than what it has been in the past. Since about 2013, the Reds bullpen has struggled extremely bad, especially with bullpens. Now, 2016 was the worst of those years. And then 2017, they picked up a couple of pieces. 2018, they did the same thing. After 2019 and the offseason there, they went into 2020 looking like an entirely new team, starting pitching and bullpen-wise. They have kinks to work out. They've got growing pains to go through. They've got the making of something special. I've been saying it for a year now, and I hold true to it. I think the acquisition of Trevor Bauer was fantastic for Cincinnati. I think the Cincinnati, that blue-collar attitude that Cincinnati has is perfect to have someone like Trevor Bauer on your staff. Now, in saying that, Cleveland had the same thing. They had even more of a blue-collar attitude persona. So I think that it was very stupid for Cleveland to let Bauer go. But Cleveland also knew that the way that Terry Francona was going to have to do it, the way that he was going to have to rebuild this team was by dropping pieces they didn't want to. I think Francisco Lindor is going to be the next one up because they're just not going to be able to afford him. They do not have a very impressive farm system, so they're going to have to spend some money, and they can't do that while having Bauer, who's going to start negotiating for more money. Francisco Lindor, who'll be one of the top 10 highest paid in baseball, so on and so forth. So the fact that he could stay in the state of Ohio, where he was already loved enough, and go to a place like Cincinnati and get into the National League, where I think Trevor belonged all along, I think was great. Plus, truth be told, whether Francona will say it or not, I think Terry Francona is a great guy and a good manager. I don't think him and Trevor saw eye to eye. I don't think that he liked Trevor's attitude some days. And you know what? Sometimes that just happened. Joe Girardi's had a few of those guys in his day. So it happens, but I really think that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back that made Cleveland say goodbye to him. But when he goes in and starts mowing down pitchers, he gets tunnel vision more than any pitcher I've ever seen in recent memory. That's a good thing, especially when you're going out there and playing a team that you know that you could just eat alive. When he was with Cleveland, in his years there, he didn't so much have that, because you had teams that, even though the talent really wasn't there with the White Sox and the Twins, they're aggressive. They're aggressive batting rotations. Now, what you did have is you had the Royals, who, when Trevor was coming up through the league and really making his name, the Royals were becoming champions, going to back-to-back World Series, winning it in 2015. So he got to earn his stripes with some very aggressive, very, very driven, hungry, and some very talented lineups. Now he comes into the NL Central, where each team's night and day. You go from a talented Cubs team to a non-talented Pirates team, to a talented Cardinals team, to a mediocre Brewers lineup with a couple of very strong pieces like a Christian Yelich. One thing that I like about Trevor going into this game is, if Trevor was a left-hander, it would be even better, because Detroit hits left-handers about as well as a blind man, can search for buried treasure. The fact that Detroit can make contact with right-handers at a fairly high level, there's no power within the Detroit lineup. There's no power, there's no consistency, and there's just not much talent yet. I think there's potential pieces, but they're not there yet. There's a good thing with this. Now, usually you would say, well, if they're that good at making contact with right-handers, why do you want to put your faith in a righty? Well, because you have a right-hander that's a ground ball machine. He attracts ground balls with the best of them. So if Detroit is going to go out there, because Detroit has known since day one of this season, and they've shown it with wins against the Reds and against the Royals, they know that the only way that they can go out there and win, whether they're playing a good team or a terrible team, is to swing the bat and hope for the best. So they're going to be aggressive night in and night out. Well, they're going to go out there and be aggressive against Trevor Bauer. That's a lot of ground balls that are going to be generated. That means quick innings, low pitch counts, and we're going to be able to see Trevor go deeper into the game, which means less bullpen work, which means that we could really get by seeing Trevor, one middle reliever, and one closer, and that's it. And I think that because the Reds have been silenced for the majority of the season, other than one breakout game against the Cubs where they just opened the floodgates of offense, their offense has been shelled. They want that breakout game. That team has confidence when Bauer's on the hill. Bauer has been the face of Major League Baseball in the offseason because of how outspoken he can be. He's very polarizing. His team trusts him. His managers trust his ability. The ground ball ratio that he puts out on any given day is great, and the lack of talent with Detroit makes it that much easier to take it. Now, on the other hand, what you've got that Detroit has that is even more of a reason to fade them is Michael Fulmer, who can be a great pitcher, who I think had all the potential in the world to be a very talented starting piece. He's coming off of Tommy John surgery. This is only going to be his second start. He's on a very limited pitch count. I do think that we could potentially see him go in just as a starter. Start the game, get through an inning or two, turn it over. That's not good for Detroit. They're going to rely on a bullpen non-existent after 2 innings with Trevor Bauer on the other side and a Cincinnati lineup that's waiting to break out. Whew, that's bad news. If Fulmer went out there and was pitching a gem, they're still not going to let him go above 65 pitches, period. At best, because we know that Cincinnati hits righties well, and because you got to have somebody that's still building arm strength back up, they're going to hit Fulmer. That 65 pitches won't come in the form of anything more than about 3 innings. So for that reason, I think we could see Bauer go deep, Fulmer leave early, bullpen takeover for Detroit, which makes it even that much more likely that Cincinnati's going to have their breakout offensive game. And I just think that this is a no-brainer. I'm sorry. It's going to take, let's put it to you this way. Detroit could win this game tomorrow. Detroit's one game, I mean, every game that they've won this season, they should have lost. So it's been proven a few times this year already that Detroit could win on any given night, but it's baseball. So can anybody. Detroit can't win this game. Cincinnati has to lose it. So it's Cincinnati's to win or it's Cincinnati's to lose. And if they lose it for themselves, Detroit gets to count the win. But Detroit can't win the game. Cincinnati's going to win it or Cincinnati's going to lose it. I'm going to go with the first and say that Cincinnati wins it, and I think they win it in dominant fashion. The fact that I can get it at $1.50, maybe even lower if I wait a few hours, I think it's a gift. I wish I could, take it at $1.30. I don't like going to $1.50. But in this situation, I'm happy to lay the $1.50. I'm not going to take the risk and wait till in the morning to see if it comes down because it may very well go up to $1.70. Who knows? So right now, premium play. I love the game. I'm taking the Cincinnati Reds on the money line, minus 150. Trevor Bauer is really the only pitcher I'm worried about. So if you have a book that allows you to mark just one starting pitcher like Bovada or William Hill does, you can do that if you want to. Because Fulmer very well could get pulled. If Detroit wants to go out there and try to make a true game plan, because right now they don't have one, and that's evident, the fact that they're putting in someone that's still trying to come back from Tommy John. You don't want the game to be scratched, and then you have to go rebet it if the line goes back up, because now you're having to bet something much higher. So you're welcome to just mark Trevor Bauer if you can. Otherwise, you're going to have to mark what's there. Definitely want Trevor Bauer marked. But if you have to mark both, Trevor Bauer, Michael Fulmer, there's your starters. But most definitely, you want Trevor Bauer to be marked. If you are betting with 5 dimes and they do not allow you to, I know that I'm going to get questions. Well, I bet with 5 dimes and I can't mark my starting pitcher. Should I still wager the game? Yes, you should. Now, if Trevor Bauer were to get pulled tomorrow afternoon, look at who they put in. If they put in a nobody and they want to go to a bullpen day, which is very unlikely, you could always hedge the bet because I still think this line is going to go up in favor of Cincinnati. But the public's liking Detroit right now. And I don't mean public as in bettors. I just mean the generalized baseball public is liking Detroit right now. But that just shows stupidity in America. So, I love you guys. Thank you for another great day. Another sweep. The best MLB in the business. No question. No doubt about it. There's nobody even close. They can say that they are, but they have nothing to back it up with. So, congratulations on another 2-0 day. Another day of big profit. We're going to get into Saturday. Maybe even have our first top play of the MLB season. Who knows? So, we'll see. But for right now, big play. Cincinnati Reds minus 150 on the money line. I love you guys, and I'll see you back for Sunday.